here except for two, and two that we should excuse.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve Councilmember Huddleston and Councilmember Edwards.
For approval or excuse?
I said I moved to excuse, didn't I?
You said approve, but that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I meant to excuse.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So they are excused. New business. This is C1, considering approval of resolution number 5558, adopting the budget in fiscal year 23-24.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'll keep this brief. Staff recommends for the final budget to be approved in the amount for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024, in the amount of $274,329,337. Prior to this adoption, the tentative budget was made public through 2 publications in the local newspaper. Additionally, a public hearing took place on June 5th during the regular council meeting. The final budget encompasses all the information that has been presented to the mayor and council up to this point. The resolution approval solidifies the City of Casa Grande's budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024. I'll take any questions if you have any.
Can we make an amendment to the budget and take the police and the Parks and Rec budgets off of the approval budget since they just walked out the door? And we're going to give it all to Kevin and all to Richard.
Don't forget Larry.
Oh, and Larry, and HR. And HR, and yes, and Gloria.
And finance.
Well, I just said those two. We'll just take those two off. Since finance and everybody else is here. Don't print that, please, Jody. I was just kidding. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? No. All right. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Seeing no questions, then I'll call for a resolution number, please. Gloria?
Resolution number 5558, a resolution of the Council of the City of Casa Grande, Arizona, adopting the budget for fiscal year 2023 to 2024.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve resolution number 5558 as presented.
Second.
All right. A motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, we'll move to item C2. This is considering approval of ordinance number 3380.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Staff recommends that the Mayor and Council approve the ordinance to purchase the replacement of new vehicles, replacement vehicles and new vehicles outlined in the blanket purchase list for the FY24 fiscal year. The proposed expenditures for these purchases amount to the total of $3,666,070. Given the current challenges caused by the global supply chain, staff seeks to proactively prepare any available purchasing options that may arise, ensuring the fulfillment of the approved vehicle purchases outlined in the FY24 budget. To accomplish this, staff requests that authorization from the Mayor and Council acquire both replacement and new vehicles and equipment that were previously approved in the tentative budget and are included in the blanket approval list. This proactive approach enables the city to act swiftly when vehicles become available, increasing the likelihood of the successful acquisition during the challenging times. Vendors have become less inclined to be able to reserve vehicles for the city while staff follows the regular approval process, making a prompt action essential. While staff seeks the formal approval and authorization from the council through the signature action, it remains committed to adhering to the procurement code and ensuring that all procurements fall within the budget authority granted by the mayor and council. The sole change in the process lies within seeking advance council approval for the purchasing during the supply crisis period, as opposed to the usual practice of bringing each purchase separately for approval. By adopting this approach, the city can optimize the positioning and seize suitable opportunities and secure with fleet and appropriate limits. I'll entertain any questions if there is any.
Questions? Comments? Thank you. All right, seeing none, then I'll entertain an ordinance number, please, Gloria.
Ordinance number 3380, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, approving the purchase of budgeted vehicles, authorizing expenditure of public funds, authorizing the transfer of budget authority, and authorizing the execution of agreements, purchase order, contracts, and all other necessary documentation by the city manager.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve ordinance number 3380 as presented.
Second?
A motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, move to item C3, ordinance number 3381.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Staff recommends that the Mayor and Council adopt the ordinance to approve the city's FY 23-24 large operating expenditure list, encompassing operating expenditures exceeding $25,000 and over. While each purchase still requires individual council approval, the adoption of the resolution for approvals can expedite the process to save valuable time and resources for the city. In order to facilitate this efficiently, decision-making, staff suggests that the consideration of the blanket ordinance to endorse the outlined individual purchases provided in the attached document, although these purchasings exceeding $25,000 will still require council approval or denial in a case-by-case basis, as well as the approval of bids and proposals to use the resolution for the projects surpassing $50,000 eliminates the need for separate ordinances. This streamlined approach accelerated the approval process by approximately 45 days, enabling the approved projects to proceed promptly. And now I'll just entertain any questions if there's any.
So it still has to come back to council, it's just gonna be faster,
Yep.
just to be clear.
Well, I just want to make sure we're reminded when we, when that comes up, just so we make sure we
Yeah,
remember.
what it is, it just allows us, normally we'd be bringing some of these items, you know, like Kevin's item tonight for the roads by ordinance.
Right?
Now you're gonna pass the CIP ordinance, they'll still have to come to you,
Yeah.
but you'll be just acting by resolution. So we'll remind you, because I have to prepare it,
Okay, good.
so,
And it only has to have one read, right?
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
That's
So
the
we're-
whole point, right?
So we're
Right.
streamlining it.
Right.
Okay. Excellent. Any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, then I'll entertain ordinance number 3381, please.
Ordinance number 3381, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, approving the city's fiscal year 2023-24 large operating expenditure list, authorizing the approval of purchases in excess of $50,000 for the items listed on the city's fiscal year 2023 through 2024 large operating expenditure list to be done by resolution and authorizing the transfer of budget authority.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve ordinance number 3381 as presented.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next item is C4. This is consider approval ordinance number 3382.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Staff recommends that the council adopts the ordinance to approve the city's fiscal 23-24 capital improvement plan. While each project still requires further council approval, the adoption of the resolution for the approvals can save valuable time and resources for the city. As part of tonight's agenda, the mayor and council will finalize the 2023 budget for the city, which included the funding of $153,970,216 allocated for the capital improvement projects, including city manager reserves. Staff recommends that the mayor and council consider the ordinance to approve the CIP project list for the 23-24 fiscal year, as outlined in the attached documents. Despite the initial approval of the ordinance, each approved project will still need to be presented to council for the approved or denial of the specific project and the authorize a bid or a proposal. However, instead of requiring individual project approvals by ordinance, these projects can be approved through resolutions of the council. This streamlined approach reduces the bureaucracy of processes and allows the projects to progress approximately 45 days faster than the average for the items approved by council. It is important to note that the capitals exceeding $50,000 or more, which are not part of the approval list, will still require an approval through ordinance. By adopting this recommendation, the city can expedite and implement the capital improvement projects, optimize operational efficiency, and allocated resources more effectively. Any questions? If you have any, I'll entertain them.
All right, seeing none, then I'll call for an ordinance number, please, Gloria.
Ordinance number 3382, an ordinance of the City of Casa Grande, Arizona, approving the city's fiscal year 2023 through 2024 capital improvements plan, authorizing the approval of purchases in excess of $50,000 for projects on the capital improvement plan to be done by resolution, and authorizing the transfer of budget authority.
Mayor McFarland, I move approval of ordinance number 3382 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, final agenda item, C5, consider approval of resolution number 5559.
Staff recommends approving the partnership agreements with 6 organizations. The total amount is $301,650. Main Street, $39,150. The Historical Society, $34,000. Pinal Alliance for Economic Growth, $25,000. Pinal County Water Augmentation Authority, $20,000. Boys and Girls Club, $140,000. And the Chamber of Commerce, $43,500.
Anyone have any questions about those? Okay. Seeing none, then I'll ask for a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5559, a resolution of the council of the City of Casa Grande, Arizona, authorizing the provision of public services benefits agreement with 6 community partners for fiscal year 2023 through 2024, authorizing the expenditure of public funds, and authorizing the execution of 6 agreements by the city manager.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve resolution number 5559 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second, Gloria. Can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavender.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, thank you, everybody. Meeting stands adjourned.